Hello again, and welcome back to the sales coaching series, where we take the mystery out of selling and turn it into a structured, reliable skill set. Now today we're diving into a method that's been around for decades but still stands tall in the world of modern sales. Spin selling. If you've ever found yourself fumbling through a call, unsure of how to guide the conversation, or uncover the real reasons a prospect might buy, this, my friend, is for you. SPIN is an acronym. It stands for situation, problem, implication, and need-payoff. Developed by Neil Rackham after observing thousands of real sales calls, spin selling isn't about pushing a product. It's about asking the right questions in the right order so the customer persuades themselves. Let's break it down and, more importantly, see how to use this in a real conversation. Situation questions, setting the scene. These are your fact-finding questions. You're gathering basic intel to understand the customer's current setup. But this is key. Don't linger here too long. The goal is get just enough context to move into the more meaningful parts of the conversation. Example questions. Can you walk me through how you're currently handling X? What systems are you using to manage Y? How many people are involved in your current process? Keep it efficient. Don't interrogate. Converse. Your prospect's time is precious, and you need to earn the right to dig deeper. Secondly, problem questions, uncovering the pain. This is where the conversation starts to warm up. Your job is to identify areas where the prospect is experiencing friction, inefficiencies, or dissatisfaction. You're nudging the client to articulate their problems aloud, often for the first time. Example questions. What challenges do you face with your current setups? Are there any parts of the process that slow things down? Have you had any issues with X in the past? Why it matters. People don't buy products, they buy solutions to problems. If you haven't identified a clear problem, you're selling in the dark. Third, implication questions. Making the pain real. This is the most powerful and often most underused part of the spin model. You've found the problem. Now you're showing the cost of ignoring it. You help the prospect connect the dots between their small annoyance and the larger business impact. Example questions. If this continues, what effect will it have on your team's productivity? How does that impact your ability to hit targets? What's the long-term cost of continuing down that path? This is where urgency is born. You're not being manipulative, you're being helpful. You're helping them understand the true weight of their challenge, because only when they will be open to meaningful change. And fourth, need-payoff questions. Painting the positive picture. Here you flip the script. You've stirred up the pain, now you bring hope. These questions get the prospect talking about the value of fixing their problem. And when they say it out loud, it becomes real for them, not just another sales pitch. Example questions. How would it help if your team could automate that process? What difference would it make if you could reduce those errors? Would a smoother onboarding process help you scale faster? A key point, you don't tell them the benefits, you ask questions that allow them to say the benefits in their own words. That's where buy-in happens. Spin in action, a simple sales call flow. Let me walk through a simplified version of how this might work out in a call. Salesperson. Hi Sarah, Just to understand your setup better, how are you currently tracking customers' interactions? Sarah, we're using spreadsheets, it's not ideal. Salesperson, I can imagine that gets tricky. Are you running into any issues with missed follow-ups or duplicate entries? Sarah, all the time. It's hard to stay on top of things when the team is sharing the same file. The salesperson, right. And when that happens, what's the knock-on effect? Are leads falling through the cracks? Sarah, yes, and it's costing us opportunities. We had a client who went with a competitor last week because we didn't respond quickly enough. The salesperson, that must be frustrating. If you had a system in place that automatically tracked and reminded your team of every interaction, how would that change things? Sarah, that would make a huge difference. We'd probably convert more leads and it would save us loads of time. You see how this works? At no point did you pitch a product, you simply guided the prospect towards realizing the value of change. That's consultative selling at its best. Here's the magic of spin. It respects the buyer. It shifts you from being a pitch person to a thinking partner. You become someone who helps the client understand their own world more clearly. And that, my friend, is what earns trust and business. So here's your homework. The next time you're prepping for a sales call, jot down 3 spin style questions for each category. Don't script the whole conversation, just map the flow. That prep alone will boost your confidence and effectiveness tenfold. Let me know in the comments, have you tried spin selling before? Which part do you find the most challenging? And if you've got a story of it working wonders, share that too. And as always, if this was useful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more weekly sales coaching, and tap that bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Remember, sales isn't about pressure, it's about perspective, and the right questions can change everything. Thanks for watching.